I think you'll see where the House is focused based on where the House has been since last March 25. Very proud of the budget that we all put forth last year. If you look at our budget, we invested in education, which I think is of critical importance. We invested in infrastructure. We did the types of things that are going to invest in the economy, get people back to work. And we worked on bettering the economic environment. And how did we directly do that? We lowered the corporate tax rate from 9 to 7%. We went from the highest in New England, which we should never be, to the lowest in the Northeast. I heard accolades regarding that, and I don't care about accolades, but I'm glad that the business community is responding positively. I heard that response in Rhode Island and, quite frankly, nationally. We're recognized for having done something different. We took the estate tax exemption, which was at $922,000, and we increased it to $1.5 million, and we got rid of the cliff provision. Encouraged people that are successful to stay in Rhode Island and continue to invest in Rhode Island. Is it high enough? No, but it's competitive with our neighbors. It's not where we ultimately need it to be, and I suspect we're gonna have that issue brought up. Everything we do in government has to be balanced. We have a budget that has to be considered constitutionally. We have to balance our budget. We don't have the liberties that the federal government has. And we have to take care of all of our needs. But while we do all of that, we have to address the impact on the economy. And what I've been saying lately is everything we look at in state government, we look at the wrong way. We look at it from a very static point of view. What is it going to cost us? So this year it's going to cost us $20 million, so forget it. We're not going to do it. We don't have room in the budget to do it. We'll kick that issue out. Well, we have a structural deficit in Rhode Island, folks. So under that analysis, we're never going to do anything to make our economy better. Sometimes you have to prioritize, and you have to do what the economy needs to do to move forward. I am committed to having and making reasonable changes in Rhode Island, meaningful, reasonable changes that create a better business climate and move this state forward. You know, we've been talking, and I share everybody's goal on regulatory reform. I've been a state representative for 8 years. The first year I was here, we were talking about regulatory reform. We've made some steps and strides in the right direction, but not meaningful enough that it really helps small businesses to the extent that we probably could. So we're going to have to look at these things from a meaningful point of view. And I was part of the process, so I'm not being critical of anybody. But I am going to push, with the help of Chairwoman Representative Serpa, push the Office of Regulatory Reform to be a little more proactive. Let's get us some meaningful things that actually help you folks and help the business community do different things. So I'm going to look at doing things differently. We have recently been last in unemployment. Frustrates the heck out of me. Just because I'm in an elected office service doesn't mean I don't get frustrated. I'm sure everyone else on this dais is as frustrated as me about that. Now, we've improved that. We're doing a little better. But how did we get last? We got last because some of our policies, some of the things that affect our economic climate are not where they should be. We should never be an outlier. We're too small a state to be an outlier. We should be right in the middle generally on every one of our policies. So where we don't align to that, we have to start to move in that direction and join the mainstream. And that's what I'm going to be committed to doing. One of my proposals is to exempt Social Security income from taxation. Now, that does a lot of things. Hopefully it helps keep folks in the state of Rhode Island. But I also think it raises the psyche and the morale of the community. It lets people know that the government's working for them. Why would we ever want to be one of 13 states that taxes elderly folks after they've worked their entire lives? It frustrates folks. So my intent is going to be to work as aggressively as I can to exempt that, so we're not one of 13, the outlier situation once again, that we're in the mainstream and we treat our citizens fairly. It's not a matter of serving the government's budget. It's a matter of serving our constituents, and that's where our focus and our emphasis is going to be. And when we do that, the small business community is going to be appreciative and going to have the environment where they could be most successful. So that's the approach that I'm going to take on all of the issues that are brought forth, and we will always concentrate on what's best for the economy and what's best for the small business community. I want to address what Governor Raimondo said, and I usually appreciate her comments. We tend to think alike. It might be scary, but we tend to think alike. She said she's bullish on the economy. It's a great state. I have been saying for months that we have a great state. I think all of the ingredients are there for us to be very successful. We have great institutions, which are very important to our economy. We have great hospitals, great transportation system. We have all the science and technology we need through our universities and other companies that we have. We have business leaders that have talent second to none. We have a coastline second to none. We have Newport. We have such great assets, the best restaurants in the country, great people. We have such great ingredients to be great. And I'm going to say we are great. I don't think we have to become great. We are great. But I agree, I join with the governor and everyone else on this dais to suggest that we start believing we're great. You know, and I'm not going to make my Texas comment again because I overuse it, but other states are proud of their state. I was just in Richmond, Virginia. They're proud of their governor. Whether they like him or not, they're proud of him. They're proud of their government. They believe people are working hard on their behalf. In Rhode Island, we're just a little bit too negative, so it should start here and start with each and every one of us, and we should start to promote ourselves. We're a great state, and we're like every other state. We have some policies that need to be addressed and changed, and we're going to work on changing them, and we're going to make ourselves better and even greater. So we'll all move forward together. Thank you for being here. Thank you for the collaboration.